Thank you, everybody, for coming to the Aaron Torres Podcast YouTube page. If you could do me a quick favor, see that little subscribe button at the bottom of your screen? Go ahead, click that subscribe button. Really does help our channel grow, our audience grow, and I really do appreciate it more than you know. So click that subscribe button. Appreciate your support. Now, here's the video that you came here for. All right, one more mailbag question. This one came from Laren, listener of the show. Very appreciative of your support, Laren. Tweets me all the time, sends me questions all the time. Can't get to all of them. But he sent me a great question. He said, Torres, I have a question about Kentucky hoops. If Justin Edwards gets going and DJ Wagner plays like we all know he can, is it possible that we have 4 lottery picks in Justin Edwards, DJ Wagner, Aaron Bradshaw, and Reed Sheppard projected lottery by ESPN? I think that's the site, he says. Or is it out of the realm of possibilities to think that maybe we have 5 first-round picks in Bradshaw, Sheppard, Justin Edwards, DJ Wagner, and Rob Dillingham? Great question, Laren. I really want to dive into this one. So this is a really fun one. So why it's interesting is a couple things. First of all, we all know Kentucky is awesome this year, right? And it is because of the freshmen. And what Laren is essentially asking is, can Kentucky tie its own record? For people who do not know, 2010 Kentucky Wildcats, 5 first-round NBA draft picks. John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, Patrick Patterson, Eric Bledsoe, Daniel Orton. By the way, some guy wrote a great book about that team. It's called One in Fun. May have heard of it. Written by yours truly, Torres. Yes, I interviewed John Wall, Eric Bledsoe, Patrick Patterson, John Calipari, you name it. Give you a little link in the show description if you want to go ahead and order a copy or 2. Great Christmas gift. It's a little late for Christmas gifts, but birthday, Hanukkah, Easter, Father's Day, Mother's Day, whatever. Anyway, Laren's asking, can we set that record? And specifically, can we tie the record? Can these guys be lottery picks? Can we make it happen? I'm here to say, Laren, I may sound crazy and I may end up looking dumb. I think Kentucky is going to tie that record of 5 first-round draft picks. Don't know if they'll all be in the lottery, but I think all 5 guys are absolutely in play. First of all, quick backstory. Rob Dillingham, just so you know, Rob Dillingham, leading scorer of those freshmen, 14 points per game, 4.5 assists. Reed Sheppard probably playing like an All-American, 12.5 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, 1 block per game, playing like an All-American. DJ Wagner, 12 points per game. Justin Edwards, the quote-unquote disappointment of the group, averaging just under double figures, 10 points per game. And Aaron Bradshaw, who has only played 5 games because of injury, averaging 7.2 points per game. So the question is, can they all be first-round picks? First of all, I think a couple things. One, Rob Dillingham, I think there's 2 that are just no doubt, if they declare, they're one and done. Rob Dillingham is 1. The most recent thing I saw from ESPN, Jonathan Givony, had Rob Dillingham in the top 10. This is a kid that is super athletic, super quick twitch. The one thing about the NBA, there are certain things, like everybody can shoot and has an IQ and has this and has that. There are certain guys that even in a league full of the world's best athletes are a different stratosphere of athlete. That is Rob Dillingham. Rob Dillingham has the type of quick twitch athleticism that I would guess there's probably less than 10 guards in the league that have that type of athleticism. I'm not saying he's quite Russell Westbrook or Derrick Rose, but he's that like next tier down, and he's way up from most guys in the league. He's going in the first round. Reed Sheppard, if he declares, I think is going in the first round. Now, I'm not sold that he's going to declare. He didn't come into the season thinking he was a one and done. I think he probably will declare. But I think the idea of him as an NBA draft prospect is so new to that family that they're probably processing it all. I would venture to guess he goes. I don't think it's certain, but if he goes, he's going to be in the first round, probably as a lottery pick, because he's already, the role that he plays at Kentucky is what he's going to need to do in the NBA. Defend, jump passing lanes, play off the ball, play on the ball, shoot threes. He's going in the lottery. I think he's going at least in the first round, if not the lottery. So I think those 2 are going in. The question is, can you get the other 3? And I think the answer is absolutely yes. First off, let me say this. You guys and girls know I love college hoops. This is shaping up to be a historically bad NBA draft. And I know what people say, they say that every year. No. This one is bad, okay? So first of all, G League Ignite, and I'm not here to always criticize Ignite, I say it all the time. Jason Hart, former Syracuse player, former NBA player, former USC assistant coach, runs that program. I think Jason Hart's one of the great coaches that I've met in basketball. But they took too many guys. You read reports, those guys are struggling. Ron Holland, who was supposed to go to Arkansas, he's struggling. He's falling down draft boards. Matas Buzelis is falling down draft boards. So the Ignite guys are struggling. They're falling down draft boards. A lot of the college players are struggling and falling down draft boards. Isaiah Collier, great start to the year, has struggled the last 5 or 6 weeks. USC is a mess right now. UCLA brought in all those international guys. They're struggling right now. Donovan Clingan, UConn. I love the kid. He's had 2 major foot injuries this year. 2 major lower body injuries is probably the right way to say it. He's going to be under very serious surveillance going into the draft. You have a bunch of international guys playing overseas. You don't know about competition, how good, how bad, this, that. A lot of them are going to get drafted and high. Some of them are going to fall, though. So you look at this NBA draft, it's shaping up to be really bad, and that's where I think these Kentucky guys can step in. Rob Dillingham and Reed Sheppard, in my opinion, are definitely going in the first round. I feel pretty good about the other 3 as well. Let's actually start with the guy that Laren mentioned first, and that's Justin Edwards. You could argue that out of everybody, he's actually struggling more than anybody on the team, averaging 9.8 points per game, but only shooting 25% from 3. And keep in mind, this was a kid that in the preseason, some mock drafts had him as the number 1 overall pick, and some recruiting services had him as the number 1 player coming out of high school. And so he's been a disappointment so far. But what I truly believe, he's going to figure it out. Because the one thing about Justin Edwards that I've been impressed by, he hasn't once at any point sulked or been sad or been mad or been a bad teammate. North Carolina game, biggest game of the year. Team's playing well. He's on the bench. He's waving a towel. He's excited. He's happy for his teammates. So the attitude is good. And I think everything else is going to come around. I say it every year with these Kentucky freshmen. It takes time. I go back to the year of Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero was terrible for about the first 6 weeks of the season. And there were fans that were like, you can't play this kid, Cal. And they kept playing him. They kept playing him. They kept playing him. And by the end of the year, he was one of the most dynamic players in the sport. Heck, I'll talk about the book that I wrote, One and Fun. I talked to Cal about this 7, 8 years ago when I wrote the book. He said, John Wall's first year, he's coming in my office every day thinking he's not good enough for this level. Eric Bledsoe, the same. So this isn't a new thing that some guys are going to struggle. But he's got the right attitude. I think he's going to figure it out. And I think even if he doesn't, he's got the measurables. If the NBA is going to take a chance on a kid, they're going to take a chance on a kid that's 6'8", plays super hard, has proven he can hit 3-pointers. I think that kid's going in the first round. DJ Wagner, I think, is going in the first round, averaging 12 points per game. He's already had multiple 20-plus point games, so he's proven he can do it at this level. And the thing I keep saying about DJ, first of all, he's going to have some really big games. And we all know NCAA tournament late in the season, spotlights on everybody. You have a couple big games in the tournament, that stands out to NBA people. But what I also keep going back to with DJ Wagner, I think he's just one of these players that's being overanalyzed right now because he's been in the spotlight for so long. This kid was basically the number 1 high school player in his class as a freshman. Never really lost the spot. By the end of the year, by the end of his senior year, he's a top 4, top 5 player. So you know how many times he's been seen by scouts and evaluators and eventually NBA people? Team USA stuff, McDonald's All-American game, FIBA, whatever. He's playing really well for freshmen. 12 points per game, 22 20-plus point games before January 1. That's a great freshman season. Wait until he fully clicks. Right now, he's projected as like a fringe first-round guy. I think he gets in there. The guy that I'm interested in is Aaron Bradshaw. 7'1", coming off injury. But even him, what stands out to me about him, he's come back, he's bought into his role, and he's got a great attitude. And again, it's the measurables. 7'1", super athletic, shot blocker, willing to play a role. That's another thing. A lot of these kids come in, if they struggle, they pout, they whine, they complain. Heck, we see it in the pros. Patrick Mahomes is whining all the time. This kid has come in, rebound, effort, energy, shot blocking. Get a 7'1" guy, 19 years old. That kind of frame, that kind of athleticism, you can teach him a lot. I would say of the 5, he's the one that I could see falling. But I think he's going to end up in the first round. And I do think we're going to get 5 first rounders from the University of Kentucky.